Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and today we're talking Water Genasi in our Monsters of the Multiverse coverage. Well, if you're watching these videos in release order, or I guess playlist order, or alphabetical order, which is shocker, that's how I'm doing these. Fire Genasi wasn't my favorite. I didn't hate it, but it just wasn't as positive. It still was nowhere near as bad as my dislike for the fairy, but I'm so happy because I love the Water Genasi. We've got some really cool stuff here. Let's just jump right into our Genasi lore for the fourth and last time. Tracing their ancestry to the genies of the elemental planes, each Genasi can tap into the powers of one of the elements: air, earth, fire, and water. These are the four pillars of the material plane and the four types of Genasi. Some Genasi are direct descendants of a genie, while others were born to non-Genasi parents who lived near a place suffused by a genie's magic. A typical Genasi has a lifespan of 120 years. What's the point of that, by the way? 120 years. If we're saying races live 100 years as standard, what's an extra 20? And I know I just argued that I like flavor, like the colored dark vision, like get red, or here for water if it was blue or something, whatever. 120? Like, okay. Like, am I supposed to role play that? Do I, like, with an, I don't know. It's fine. Water Genasi descend from Marids, aquatic genies from the elemental plane of water. Water Genasi are perfectly suited to life underwater and carry the power of the waves inside themselves. Their skin is often shades of blue or green, sometimes a blend of the two. If they have a human skin tone, there is a glistening texture that catches the light, like water droplets or nearly invisible fish scales. Their hair can resemble seaweed, waving as if in a current, or it can even be like water itself. Please note that it says like water, not water. So no, you cannot drink your own hair, or at least survive off of it. All right, we've got our standard stat array, common in another language. You live 120 years, about the size of a typical human. Pause the screen if you want to see anything in detail. All right, here are our Water Genasi racial traits. You are a humanoid. You are medium or small. Your walking speed is 30 feet, and you have a swimming speed equal to your walking speed. Okay, cool. Our normal stuff here, great, works for me. That swimming speed, that's exactly what I meant with the Fire Genasi. When the Fire Genasi get fire resistance in their spells, and that's it. They don't get any of that kind of like flavory stuff. Like that, I still don't understand it. At least let them like walk on magma without taking. I don't know. Water Genasi are great. Acid resistance. You have resistance to acid damage. All right, Wizard of the Coast, I've caught you here. You said perfectly suited to the living in the water, but we're getting acid. But why do Triton get cold resistance? Because they live in the oceans where it's cold. I mean, I'm okay with the acid resistance. I think that's fun. But we've got these two dots and we need to connect them. Amphibious, you can breathe air and water. Yeah, swimming speed, breathing underwater. Both things that won't come up a lot, but when they do, they're super great. And they can completely change how an encounter happens. Whether it's like exploring or surviving, if you get thrown off a boat, all sorts of cool stuff can happen with those. Also, isn't it kind of the worst when you want to play like a sea themed person, and then you get a subclass that gives you breathing underwater and swimming, and then your race gives it to you too, and then you have access to the spells that do the same thing, and it's just give me that flex. Call to the Wave, the Acid Splash cantrip. Starting at 3rd level, you can cast the Create or Destroy Water spell using this trait. Starting at 5th level, you can also cast the Water Walk spell with this trait without requiring a material component. Once you cast either of these spells, you can't cast it again this way until you finish a long rest. You can cast it with spell slots, and you can pick Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma for your spell casting ability. Great! Acid Splash, Not my favorite cantrip. Check out my cantrip series on my thoughts on that one. But fine. It's cool. It's thematic. It matches our acid resistance, which isn't cold resistance, but that's okay. Walk on water. Great, cool spell. And that's something that we're not getting from all the other water parts of our race. So that's cool. Create or destroy water. Very thematic. Just remember, you cannot create water in somebody's lungs. I'm sorry. I guess I don't actually know if there's a Jeremy Crawford ruling on that, but no, I say no at my table. Do you let people create water in somebody else's lungs with a spell to instantly drown them? Oh, but Eric, you said all these races have dark vision. All the Genasi have dark vision, but you didn't cover dark vision yet, and it's usually at the top. Yeah, and so this caught me off guard. Here we go. We have dark vision. We have 60 feet of dark vision. That's cool. Apparently, and I don't know how I've never caught on to this, but after your creature type, all the other traits are in alphabetical order. I've always put dark vision in that main like group of like standards, right? But apparently we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to lump dark vision in with the more specific racial traits, which, okay, that's sure. Okay, so this is more or less a perfect example to me of a Genasi. We've got some cool stuff. We've got our flexible size. We have our dark vision. We have a resistance. Might not be the one that makes most sense to me, but we've got a resistance. We have a bunch of utility that's directly tied to our element with our breathing water, with our swimming. We've got a great selection of spells. We have Acid Splash, which isn't the strongest one here, but it makes sense if we're acid based for some reason. We've got two great utility spells that are both, and all three of them really are really easy to kind of see you using as like a water control kind of thing, of creating the water, of walking on the water, of throwing the water. Just, it's very thematic. It's a good spread. And those are also, the spells are good spells to have prepared that you might not want to normally prepare. Excellent. Okay, so clearly I'm a huge fan of Water Genasi. Leave a comment. Which Genasi was your favorite? Air, earth, fire, water. I'm so torn between air and water. I think ultimately I would probably go air, because if I'm playing a water Genasi, I'm probably already in a water type thing, and there are probably already going to be rules or situations or tools or something in that campaign that's going to address the breathing and the swimming for all the other players. So air elemental for me, I guess, is where I'm going to land. Those are the Genasi. I'm excited to move on from them. Up next, we've got Gith Yankee and Gith Zerai, and they are both awesome. Mostly. Thanks for watching. Check us out, FryMinis.com. Hit the subscribe button here. We'll see you later. Bye.